We're waiting for tech services to catch up. Okay.
You're in trouble.
All right. Good afternoon. And I think I'd like to start with happy holidays. So do we have anyone here who's happy for anything in particular?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I'm $10 happy that we're back safely from Alaska. Or we had a 10-day trip. And a wonderful trip. Saw lots of interesting things. We even went north of the Arctic Circle. Met a guy that lived up there year round. And so we had a great trip. Everybody's back safely. All our airline connections went smoothly. Nothing canceled or delayed. So we were very lucky.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Who's that? Who else?
You say first.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm actually $15 happy.
Ooh.
First $5 is for Dolores, who is not only doing our minutes of the meetings, or not meeting notes, but actually went back to our recorded version to double check all of the details. $5 for attention to detail. Living room.
Yeah, but
There you go.
now you know what I go through. He checks everything on me.
I've also put 5 up for our technical services team over here. They made that lovely recording possible. And please notice the camera on the wave. Hi. Say hello to the internet and the rest of the world. And then 5 is for me. I hope you all are familiar.
Saw all the pictures you took.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm paid with cool assignments. And this, they actually put me in a boat, and I made page 1. But they put me in a boat, and there were 4 boats circling the horses as they were swimming. But one of the others was for the governor of Virginia. So Young's over there, and I'm over here with the television crew, and it was spectacular. Really enjoyed it. And that's why I bought the paper last week. Did you buy it?
I know a guy who gets a subscription, and I'll take care of it.
So yes, we'll deliver it for that price.
You bought it from Connie?
I bought it from here.
Congratulations.
There's more to the story, but thank you very much. We bought it. So I'm partnering with Ted Shocker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Ted!
Yes.
Who, if you're familiar with Shore First.
Yes.
So he's the publisher of that, but he is a wonderful, seasoned veteran,
Great guy.
former executive editor for I want to say the Time, but really, that was just the flagship. And he was in charge of 8 or 9 papers published out of Salisbury. He was the executive editor. So he was in charge of the editorial. And I'm 66, he's 49. So I plan to play a lot of pickleball and let him do a lot of work. So, and he will, the plan is eventually he will take over the paper.
Will he continue his quarterly?
Yeah, so the monthly.
Monthly.
Sure, for yes. And everything has come together so quickly. We haven't quite figured how that's going to play in all this. That we may accelerate its move toward really a lifestyle piece, the magazine thing. So, we'll just have to see. Right, both of us very much want to emphasize local news, and I think you're going to see a higher story count. We're going to right now that they write a lot of really long stories, and the rule of thumb when I was coming up in the Morgantown Daily Times and Annapolis Capital, the rule of thumb was lost 50% of your readers after 6 inches, after 6 column inches. And so the notion of writing 30 column inch piece, we had to cut it up 12 inches, stop. And actually, we would suggest we stop at 15. They would start cutting dramatically. And so I think we're going to see a kind of a return to that. More, but yeah, more story, yeah, higher story count, more briefs. But all of it local, and that's really the most important thing. It was kind of a crazy thing to do, but it's not popular to invest in newspapers these days.
So it's online.
And it didn't really look like it was gonna, you might just have run on autopilot for a while, which would not have been healthy for either the paper or the community. So if you're wondering why I've been a little bit preoccupied, why I didn't do the pages, I mean, we really have got a.
Why you forgot the microphone?
Yeah. Why I forgot the microphone? Exactly.
Why you never brought me to checks?
Right. This is why.
We understand, Jim.
So there's the extra $5.
Interesting excuse.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, yeah, and I am working on it. I really don't want to work but
Judge Young.
5 days a week, yeah. For a little while, we'll see. All right, who's got some, question?
Continuing with Happy Dollars.
Yes, good.
I started with 5, now I have 10. And the first 5 is for Jackie, because she is sending out the check, the bills for Rotary membership for the first time.
Oh
and
my heavens.
It's working.
And it's working. All right.
Betty got her bill. I got my bill. Betty's already paid her bill.
Good. All
I got it
right.
right here for you, Paul.
So I'm very excited about that because I'm a guinea pig.
Good. Well, and also, I think you had to write your own spreadsheet or something to put this all together. Was that the case?
Yeah, I did. I created 4 spreadsheets for everybody.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Do I get to take mine home?
Well, no, I haven't finished. I just started putting them out. I've only done 8. And then my son called me this morning with his daughter, and I had to take 30 minutes from the
Yeah,
phone with them.
I'm going to be happy about that.
What a burden.
I think that's $5 you're happy for.
I'll do.
Yes.
Yeah,
What's the
$5 happy
for
having a happy moment with my son and my granddaughter.
yay. Very
In
good.
the middle of my doing invoice.
Very good.
So the other $5 is on your behalf, Jim. And just last night, we had our monthly Eastern Shore Boys and Girls Club board meeting. And the Eastern Shore, the Post has always been very kind to the Boys and Girls Club. And Bill Sterling, who you know, who has always written articles, he works for you, kind of.
Right. He used to own it.
Yeah, his wife did. Cheryl did.
Okay.
And they said, well, Connie sold the paper. What's going to happen to us? And we were sitting there kind of wringing our hands. And I said, we'll be okay. Don't worry. And Jim, I know the Boys and Girls Club will be okay.
Yes.
Ink, because we thrive on ink from your
Oh, good. This is good. All right.
So $5 for that.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
And I'm gonna add another $5
Whoa.
for you, and congratulations to you for doing that. I think it's not only good for you, but it's a great community service. And we certainly expect your performance here to.
Well, I like to think that I really couldn't pass up an opportunity to invest, as my partner says, in a dying industry right before it was. I did ask an accountant to take a look at the books, and he started to report. Are you
congratulate Jim and Ted. I've known this for a while. I'm glad it finally came to fruition. I've got 5 for poor little Kenny, who has to live with a recovering lawyer. I know how that. Imagine if she were a judge. She wasn't a judge. Okay.
District attorney.
Ooh, that's bad enough right there.
She has everybody's
Thank you
DNA.
very much. The last one is, as many of you know, I have a lot of grandchildren, 12 in fact, and the youngest of the 12 will be 3 tomorrow. So that's my 5.
Very good.
15, no.
All right. Oh, okay, one more, Reggie.
Well, you know I have to put my 5 in for you.
Oh, for me?
Absolutely.
thank you.
$5 for you. I know when we talked, I said, Jim, you have the energy of a 40-year-old. So go for it. Right? But congratulations again.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you very much.
And $5 for the social team.
Oh,
It's
yes.
awesome that you don't even have to be there, and the team continues to do exactly what needs to be done. Yesterday morning, we
Oh,
had a meeting
really?
set, and I had stuff going on. I just wasn't able to make it, and the team just did what we
Team
needed to
members.
do.
Team members. Team members.
Joe,
Oh, bravo!
so they took care of everything. So I don't even need to be around. All I need to do is whatever.
Start the ball rolling. That's great.
That's awesome.
That's what Rotary is all about. And it does make it a pleasure to serve the Rotary Club, because you ask people to start things, then they go off and do wonderful things on their own. Thank you. Now, real quick, Tom.
Yeah. My dog decided to take a walk, take a vacation, and went around town. Couldn't find it, and going to the cow. Found my dog.
No.
You can't even get rid of this stuff. All
things are like this gravitational force. All things are just sucked toward your Joan Metallus in this town. That's great. All right. Do we have any? Oh, you know what? I didn't do it. We have. Yes, I need to. I'm sorry. I need to welcome Libby, who has taken a wonderful and very dangerous step today, because she has attended her 3rd meeting. And as you know, three lunches and you're a member. I know the paperwork will follow. So thank you. Delighted to see you. All right, are there any quick committee notices or committee announcements?
Yes.
Yes.
Membership committee will be meeting August 8th. I think everyone on the committee has received an email. We have a tentative agenda. We're looking for input. We're looking for growth and expansion, and everybody who's interested. We'll be sending out another email if anyone else has any interest or any suggestions for membership, any directions, not only just for people, but for activities to get people to know we're here and what we're doing even more. So August 8th is next Monday.
Oh, what time? And where?
9 o'clock.
It's going to be remote.
Oh, okay.
Online. So
Cool.
people get a Zoom, yeah.
All right. Is there anyone not on the committee who wants an invitation? Okay.
That's an invitation.
It is at 9 a.m. on Monday, August 8th. It was not a good time for everybody, because vacation, break, work, doing things. So whoever can't make it at 9 o'clock, then we will be sending out minutes and then looking for input. We'll send an agenda out, and if anyone wants to add, subtract, multiply, divide something, and have any input, it's welcome at any time. Because we're having a time finding everybody to be able to be at one time at one place. But we know those who are interested have already said they can't make it, but let them know what they can do or suggestions that they would like to do.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Yes, the social committee, As you know, we had planned to identify themes for 4 different meetings. So we just finished working on most of the details for the first one. Ken is going to give you an update on that. Part of our theme is to have fun. These are yes, right? Not just to sit down and eat. Right? I mean, sure, that's fun for lots of us, right? But to have fun and enjoy each other. Have a social event that everybody could have participate in, right? So we have 4 themes, but we're only going to talk about the upcoming theme, the first theme, which the team discussed yesterday, and Ken is going to share some of the details on that.
I thank Reggie for having the meetings in the morning at the coffee house, because he gets me to go because I have breakfast. Now, if I did Zoom, might not be there. But we had picked the date for, we're gonna call this game night, and this is gonna be game night. We're gonna try to have it here. I mean, this is what we're shooting for. The dates, we had decided Saturday, it's September 17th or September 24th, according to what's available here at the Trestle. The address will be casual, probably be between 6 and 9. We're gonna set up, try to get with the I don't know, it's Mark, but who handles the Trestle? Is
Mark.
Mark does it?
Mark.
All right, then Mark with the, we're gonna try to do a buffet with, like a buffet with barbecue pork and just some sides, and so people can mingle and stuff like that. The games night, we're gonna do, Joan is in charge of the bingo, right? We're gonna have a bingo, and Jackie, what is that?
Volcano.
The keynote. So if anybody wants to play it, they can play it. If not, they can just eat and enjoy it. So basically, that's what we're staying in. And one thing we found out from Paul is that we have a minimum amount of money we can spend. And Paul just told us that we don't have a sales tax, which we were worried about because of having money and then putting tax and gratuity on it. So basically, that's what we've come up with, because September's coming up fast.
Great.
And we'll try to finalize everything through Reggie and Trestle. All right?
Right.
Is there anything else you want
Excellent.
to add?
Good job.
Huh?
Thank you.
Any questions?
Just tentative date.
Stan, will we have fun?
That's why we'll definitely have fun.
There you go. All right. Bravo.
What?
17th to the 24th.
The 24th. Anybody have questions about it? Or
What do we win in the bingo?
you're gonna win prize. We've got something thought up. We're probably gonna do, is it right to say what we're gonna do?
Sure.
We're gonna do scratch offs.
Lottery tickets.
Lottery tickets. No?
Sure.
Yeah, we're gonna just get, I don't know, if sometimes it's $1 or $2 scratch offs, and that would be what you're gonna win.
Yeah, that's
All right?
All right.
Any other
questions? Bravo. Good job. Good job. Thank you.
Oh, Bill has a question.
And no, and this final announcement,
Oh,
Final announcement. Bill.
the Youth Development Committee have all agreed to participate. And those of you who have not responded to my doodle scheduler, please do, so we can have our first meeting as quickly as possible. You know who you are.
All right. This is good. Joan.
Communications team had their first meeting this morning. Not everyone was there, but we had our meeting.
And it was recorded live.
What?
No, I'm teasing.
Wasn't recorded. No. And we have 4 major areas that I'm looking at as being responsibilities of the communications team. And they are email, both communications by email and managing the email addresses for the board and committee heads. Also Facebook, website, and Zoom responsibilities. And I've already posted on the Dropbox for Rotary a list of all the email addresses, comma separated, so people can copy them and put them in a BCC to send out an email to the entire team. I'm going to put in a Excel spreadsheet that has the email address in the first column, the second column, first name, and the third column, last name, for people who want to cut and paste and know the name as well as. So that'll be going in later today. If anyone has any questions or concerns, I'm just.
More applause.
No.
Yeah. By the way, Joan already succeeded in getting the officer's picture into the the beacon up north. I think it's finally going to run in the Post. And so we're actually getting some publicity that I didn't do. So thank you very much. Yes.
Is there gonna be a tutorial on how to paste and?
I'm with you.
If you're interested, I can work with you.
Alright.
But I'll do it one-on-one because everyone
Right.
comes from a different place.
Hey, Joe, if you wait till Murphy gets back, I've got crayons over there from the two of them. I come well with crayons. If that, because I get tired of calling my grandson, you know?
And if I teach you, you know it's a ghostwriter.
We do have a speaker today, and Bill Strand has been kind enough to offer to give us a little update about foundation matters and some tips, especially for new members. So, Bill, coming up, and thank you for stepping into the breach, by the way.
Jim called me last night.
Yeah.
Our speaker canceled out,
Right.
postponed, and said, wanted to know if I could do something. Somehow it got lost in the transfer. He wanted me to talk about Cape Charles Main Street. I'm not going to do that. I can do that with our executive director some other time. But anyway, what I wanted to do, especially for the new people here, is give you a little bit of information about the Rotary Foundation. Albeit, I'm on the schedule for the first week, the first Tuesday in November, because November is the foundation month. There's a month for everything in Rotary International. Foundation is November, and then the second Tuesday of November, we have Purple Heat. All right, which is for Polio Plus. So let me, we just finished our fiscal year. We're on a fiscal year basis. So we just finished our fiscal year on 30 June. So I wanted to report out on how we did as a club. And then tell you what we have in store for this year. So each year, before the fiscal year starts, the incoming president has to put up goals. He's required, he or she is required to do goals. Membership goals, foundation goals, and there are other goals, but those two are the big ones. Okay, so we finished the year with 36 members, and I think the goal for next year is 37, so it's one new one. The goal for last year for the foundation was $4,500, which is pretty conservative. And because the goal for this year is 6,000. So last year, before I get into that, we have basically two pots of money that we look at, that the foundation looks at, and we look at. We have the share account, and I'm going to get into this in November, but we have the share account, and we have Polio Plus, all right? So there's also a Polio Plus goal that's put in. So for our giving and for the share account this past year, our goal was 4,500, gave 6,185.
Yay!
Oleo Plus, we gave $2,671. So for a combined total of $8,856. So we made 137% of our goal in the share.
Okay.
And it came out to be $171.81 per capita. Now, as part of the giving process, we have a thing called every Rotarian every year. E-Ray. So if you hear E-Ray, and you're going to hear this wherever you go in Rotary, there's a lot of acronyms thrown around. We even have a person in the district who is an acronym freak, Bill Billings. But anyway, E-Ray, every Rotarian every year, is that everybody in the club gives at least $25 and you become a member, an E-Ray member. And we get awards.
25 is 40.
No, $25 a year.
Really?
But it has to equate to $100 per person.
On average.
On average. Then we have a sustaining member. And a sustaining member is somebody that they have to give $100 over the year. And if you'll see your invoices, when you get your quarterly invoices, there's a place there for $25. And that's how we do it. So how did we do this past year? So I'm gonna have to caveat this because but you need to know this. So if you are a new member that joins in that year, then you are not counted as far as the goals go for E-Ray or sustaining members, right? They give you a year. So we had quite a few new members last year. They gave, which is great. But it goes back to who was actually on the books on 30 June 2021, right? So we had 36 members. We had 100% E-Ray. And we had 98.7% sustaining member. One person did not get the $100, which is great. So I want to thank everybody that's given and continues to give. And like I said, in November, I will discuss how the foundation operates. So we had 41 E-Rays, 31 sustaining. We had 2 Paul Harris Society members. So we have 3 Paul Harris Society members in the club, and that's based on the district. Paul Harris Society member is somebody that gets $1,000 a year. $1,000 a year. So that kind of helps that, if you have 3, that's $3,000. So you do the math, you can see that really puts our percentage per capita up.
We do have 3, right?
We do have 3.
Yeah, that's it too.
Well, I did say 2. We had 2 that were eligible this past year, just 2. But we have 3, and I'll leave it at that. That other person knows the deal. We also have in the foundation, we have bequests, and we have benefactors, and we have the bequest society. A benefactor is one that says, I will give $1,000 upon my passing from this physical place. You're not there, but I will give $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation. We have 7 benefactors in the club. So Bill almost made it. the book shows that we have a one bequest society member, which is $10,000. And I talked to that person, and they're going to try to make sure that that's not the way they talk. So, so I'm just letting them know, so they're going to work it out.
Somebody might try to kill that person.
We also have, so we've all talked about the Paul Harris Fellow. The Paul Harris Fellow goes up to Paul Harris Fellow +8. And then from there, if you continue to give, you go into the major donor category. We have one major donor.
That'd be you.
Soon, pretty soon, Bill, you might join that. So, that's where we stand on the foundation. So thank you all again for your giving. I will now kind of switch gears here, and this is really for the new people. There's several things that you can do to make sure that you're on board with Rotary. First is you should have your signed in and have login to My Rotary, because nobody, even myself, knows how much you've given except you. We can guess, but we can't know for a fact. So on My Rotary, you sign in, set up your login credentials. It will show what you've given. Every penny that you give. Some people give online. There are two people in this club that have direct giving, and you can do that. You can set that up. So the other one is to be on the district database, which is called DAC-DB. And that's where you can populate your information to as much as you want to. The spouse's birthday, your birthday, your address. You can put in your awards and stuff that you've gotten through Rotary and all that other stuff. So you need to be, plus that's called the district database. It has other stuff in there. It has calendars. That's where you go if you want to go to Rotary Leadership Institute, RLI, which is, they have three iterations of that where you learn about Rotary and fellowship. And so that's where you sign up for these events. And you sign up for the district. There are a lot of districts events. There's also a convention every year in October. Everybody should have already received the emails for that. Everybody gets the email usually on the first day of the month, the newsletter. But you can put stuff in that DB you can put newsletters in the DAC DB. You can put calendar, all the calendar events that we have, you can put in DAC DB, so the whole district knows. So it's a way to communicate to the district. So those two things plus RLI. Now, RLI is done by the zone, which is the next higher level. It's very, very good. Costs $95 per session. The club will pay for your session. Usually, it's held all over, but the closest one from us is in Norfolk. The last several times it's been there at Virginia Wesleyan. So it's about a half a day thing, and there's 3 levels. So you got to go first, second, third to be a graduate. We have several graduates of all 3 courses, but it's great. So the next one should be around April next year. So please sign up if you're interested. It's well worth the money. All right, questions?
I had one question. For a while, we were keeping a tally on the number of persons who were in Afghanistan and Pakistan. We still keep the tally on that, and
Yes, they're still keeping the tally, but I can't give you the exact numbers. Some of you have probably heard that there was a polio, a case in New York, Rockford County, I think. Rockland. And but it was a vaccine derived case. The person had not reported it and had partial paralysis and whatnot. There was also, prior to that, like I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks before that, in London, they said that they found the polio virus in sewage. So and Colleen Bonadonna, who is going to be speaking here, she is a lieutenant governor in the district, but also is the utmost authority on polio plus and polio. So she will come in here, but she put out an email that said that the Rotary International is aware of the case in New York and they're investigating it further, and there will be more information coming. So yes, but Pakistan and Afghanistan are still have polio cases.
And that's it, around the world.
Yeah.
Other than New York City. So, thank you all. I think it is, we've actually run over a little bit. Shall we stand for the Rotary pledge? Join me in saying, is it the truth?
Is it fair all concerned?
Will it build the will of better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Where are my glasses? What's my name? Okay, never mind. So, thank you all.
Stan.
Oh, and Stan.
Oh, will we have fun?
There you go.
Oh, I didn't fall over.
So what do we do with these?
Yeah. I
Fresh, you wanna have another meeting or you wanna?
I'll bring some next week.
See Mark?
Yeah, we need to have them.
Hey,
Yeah, because
See
I'm
Mark.
doing no good in my,
How do you wanna work?